don't understand wealth creation.
Yes, and interestingly, wealth creation again means something different to everybody. For a lot of people, wealth creation's about having choices. So they wish to have enough assets behind them, so if they, for instance, choose to retire when they're 55 or even younger, they actually have the ability to do that. So wealth creation, to some extent, is about having enough assets to be able to make choices that they want to make throughout their life. So wealth creation, and how I would help clients with wealth creation, is about, again, going back and looking at what their objectives are, what they want to achieve. It's not always about being the wealthiest person in the street. Most times it's about actually just being able to achieve their goals and objectives, whatever they may be. And as I said, they're different for all people.
So it'd be different, if I want to be a self-funded retiree, I'd have a different plan than if I was happy to just live off a normal pension, a government pension.
That's exactly right. So for some people, wealth creation or the ability to create wealth is so that they, if you like, don't have to rely on that government assistance, perhaps at retirement, and that's important for them. And of course, if we start with that objective in mind, then we can show them how to create wealth so that that becomes the reality.
And how do you create wealth?
Yeah, I suppose creating wealth comes in a number of ways. It's about actually making sure you have less outgoings and that you have greater incomings. And so that means determining what your income is, determining what level of spending you require, and making sure you do the right things with what's left over. So wealth creation is about ticking the boxes as far as what you're spending and what you want to achieve. But it's also about making sure you lessen the outgoings if you possibly can too. And that means things like tax planning, using superannuation and other things to help reduce those outgoings.
So it doesn't matter what income level I'm on, I can still end up creating wealth.
That's exactly right, because at the end of the day, the most important thing to understand is what's coming into your pocket, if you like, and what's going out of your pocket. And if you are wise with the difference, then you can create wealth by using it.
So now I've got my wealth created, I want to pass it on to different people. That's estate planning, I believe. Is that essential?
It's absolutely essential, because for most people, what happens with their wealth once they leave this earth is important as well. Because if you are creating wealth, and many people these days have significant assets with superannuation and housing prices and so forth, and so they want to make sure that those assets are passed on in the way that they want them to be passed on. So they want to make sure that what happens with their assets is what they want, and if that means handing it on to the next generation, then estate planning to be able to do that is enormously important. If it means something different to them, then that's important as well. So yeah, estate planning is a little bit like the insurance, if you like. It's the glue to make sure that the passing on of the wealth to the next generation happens in the way that you want it to happen.
Because I'd hate my money to go to someone I didn't want, like the government.
Yeah, that's right. And so that's exactly right. So making sure that you take care of not only what's happening while you're here, but what's going to happen with your assets once you leave, that's important as well.
Now, debt management, Anthony, what is it, and is it all part of what you deal with?
Sure. So one of the things that I spoke about when I talked about creating wealth was making sure you take care of what comes in and what's going out. Well, debt management's about taking care of what's going out. You need to make sure that you've got good debt, not bad debt, meaning debt that you, if possible, can claim a tax deduction for. You need to make sure that the debt that you've got is being controlled. That is, should you be using your additional cash flow to pay off debt? The answer is probably yes in a lot of cases. Is the ability to actually borrow, is there some other opportunities for you? Should you be looking at the interest rate? Should you be looking at the product that you've got? So yeah, debt management actually helps to control that outflow.